Hello, everyone. Today is Wednesday, October 21st, and I'm bringing the video today from St. Mary's Church. I'm back from my vacation from the last Cape Cod broadcast. Not only am I back, I'm rejuvenated. I'm excited about being back, and a lot of good things are happening in the parish of St. Matthew the Evangelist. First and foremost, the new councils have begun meeting. So this week we had our meeting with the Parish Finance Council, and that's going to be chaired by Chad LaLiberte. And we had a great meeting, and we're off to a very good start. We've started a new committee. It's called the Building and Property Committee. And this is used mostly for advising me and our staff about our buildings and properties, about what needs to be done, about what can afford to be done, et cetera, and so forth. It's made up of people from the parish who have a background in construction, and finance, so it's a good group of people. We had our first meeting last night, and I'm very hopeful. November 2nd, our Pastoral Council will have their first meeting. I'm also very excited and hopeful for that. There have been some new people who have come forward to be a part of that council, and I think it's a very good and diverse representation of our parishes. When councils first started, I think they were looked more as kind of, we're doing it because we have to, and we're checking it off our list. For me personally as a pastor, and I've only been a pastor since 2005, I really depend on our councils. I depend on our councils to advise me. They can tell me far more of what's going on and what the needs are than I would know normally. So I really do appreciate what they give me, and I'm very excited that our councils have begun. Also, what has begun is our religious education program. We started with confirmation, and the other grades will be starting next week. We were late, obviously, to start this year, and this year will be virtual, where all of our work is done in a virtual way to assure the safety of our students and of their families. Coming up as we round out October, there's a lot of things coming up in our parish that are worth mentioning. I'd like to call them coming attractions. One is in November 4th, is our Mass of Remembrance for the parish, which will remember people who have died in the past year from all three of the former parishes and presently of St. Matthew's Parish. There's more on our website about that, and a lot of work is being put into it. If you're a family of someone who has died this past year, you will be receiving information and a special invitation about that Mass. In November, we do, in a special way, remember those who have died and have gone before us. We especially remember them on All Souls Day, but really throughout the month. Usually, as you remember, there were books of remembrance throughout the three parishes and the three churches to write the names of our loved ones we want to be remembered at the Masses in November. Unfortunately, we can't have that this year because of the guidelines that we're going by in the present pandemic. So we're doing it virtually, insofar as we ask you to email the names you would normally write in the Book of Remembrance to our parish office, and the email is on the website at billrickacatholic.org. And we will ensure that those names are added to the list of all of the names we remember during the month of November. Also, this year, at the week of November 7th, we have our grand annual campaign starting. It is a little late this year. We've started it later in October in the past. You'll be receiving a letter from me about the grand annual campaign this year. And like everything, it takes on a whole different meaning as one parish, but also during pandemic and during the financial stresses we're all feeling during this pandemic. Also, later in November, you'll receive separately the finance report for the last fiscal year, and that would be the 3 parishes. Last year, you did not get a financial report, we explained, because of some software transitions and pastor transitions and logistics. So this year's financial report will compare other years, and that will be coming out with a separate letter explaining some of the particulars, especially as we transitioned from 3 parishes to 1. One of the big questions that is on people's minds and that we just talked about in our staff meeting today is, what are Thanksgiving, Advent, and Christmas going to look like? And that's a good question. And I can honestly say I don't have an answer for you right now. There's a lot changing in this dynamic state we're in. As the news would tell you, we know that a number of towns have gone to the red and have increased in number of cases. And we personally just don't know what things are going to look like in November and December. So we will announce things as those times come closer, but we don't want to promise schedules that we can't keep. So more to come on that, but we are talking about it, we are looking into it, but it's very sensitive this year, and we need to be on our game when we announce those things. But the fact of the matter is, whether we're in pandemic or not, November is a time that we think of our deceased loved ones. The readings at Mass start to talk about the second coming and the world to come, start to talk about the end times. Traditionally, in our country, it's a time that we stop and give thanks to God for the many blessings that He has given us. It's also a month that we honor our veterans, the men and women who have served us in the military, many of whom gave their lives for us. When we leave November, we slide right into December. And December brings the Advent season, whether we're in pandemic or not. Liturgically, we celebrate the season of Advent, which is the new liturgical year. During Advent, we'll celebrate the patronal feast of the United States of America, which is the Immaculate Conception on December 8th. This year, All Saints' Day, which we're going back to November for a minute, is on a Sunday, so there's not a special Mass schedule to worry about. During this time, as we enter into the Thanksgiving and Advent and Christmas season, one question that has been coming up is, are we going to be able to do the same programs that we've done, especially to help the poor and needy in our midst? And the way we do them is going to be limited. So for instance, if you've heard either on the videos or at the Masses on the videos or in-person Masses, you may have also gotten emails or the bulletin announcements about it, that our giving tree this year is going to be only with monetary donations. And we've started to receive a number of those. And the volunteers who normally would put together the gifts that you would buy are going to go out and buy the gifts for the people in need. Because we can't have too many people handling things before we give them out. So that's the way we're going to do that this year. We're also going to be working with the other churches in town for the town food pantry, especially in preparing meals for the needy at Thanksgiving. Normally we would ask for certain items, but again, that isn't possible. So if you would like to make a monetary donation and just put a note in the envelope or put a note in with your regular donation that you've added a certain amount for that food, we're just going to go out and buy the food that's needed. So if each church is going to have a different item, so if we're on the stuffing, we will buy the stuffing for all the baskets instead of having people donate it, again, because we can't take items from outside. As we enter into November in an election year, I couldn't encourage you more to exercise your civic duty to vote, and to really work at and try to make this not a time of division in our country, which it already has been showing that way, but to pray for peace in our country, and to pray that God's will be done in the civic duty of the people of our nation. And we pray for those who are being elected and those who will be serving us in government. We have a lot to pray for. We have a lot to be thankful for. In the first 3 months as St. Matthew's Parish, I think things are going really well. People have been very generous. People have been very kind and encouraging with what could have been a very difficult situation. But I can see now that that's not how we are in Billerica. So I'm very grateful for that. And as we progress on, I also want to encourage, if you are able to help out at Masses, if you come to the Masses, if you are able 1 week a month even to help out by volunteering beforehand, to help us check people in and to help make sure that people have what they need